All right, so today I'm gonna go over exactly how I grew a wholesale real estate offer from $0 a month to 20K per month in the first 30 days using a call funnel. So as you can see, we were at $0 a month for January all the way to April, because he had never sold info before. He maybe sold like $500 to two people in his hometown, so it's like nothing, obviously, like basically nothing, right? So the first month working with him, I obviously scaled him to 17. You can see 17 here. Obviously, we got a 3K PIF through Zelle. But yeah, you can see April 6th to May 6th, right? And then obviously the next month you have to keep the consistency. We did 25K revenue the next month, and on this month we were on track to do 30K. So 30K cash collected as well. So I'm gonna go over exactly how I did this, what I used to go over everything content wise, sales wise, marketing wise, and back end wise. So when we started working together, I had 2,000 followers and 3,000 followers on TikTok with absolutely no real offer. Like I said, he maybe sold like 2 mentorships for $500 each to like people in his hometown, and he ended up getting them really, really good results. So that was actually perfect to leverage for us later on when we actually started the offer. The number one thing that I tell all my clients is take your onboarding as seriously as you can, because this is what is going to actually make you a lot of money in the long run, right? So I had him onboarded, but what I actually did to get this offer to 20K a month in the first month with no audience is actually understanding Janeer on a deeper level, right? So how did I do this? I had him fill out all the onboarding information, right? Just like the software logins, all that stuff, right? The main thing was the brand sheets. So basically figuring out who his dream follower is, who his ICP is, what his actual story is, how he operates his business, who his competitors are, and exactly how he talks and how he nurtures people with his story as well as his results, right? And then from there, we build out his marketing channels. So basically, the 3 pillars. So 3 to 4 pillars, right? So you're basically finding someone who doesn't know about wholesaling. That's one pillar. Someone who knows about wholesaling but doesn't know exactly how to do it, and then someone who needs help with wholesaling that already knows what it is. And those were the 3 people that basically we were targeting with these 3 pillars, right? And all of this ends up to the VSL getting scripted as well as the copy being written for the landing page, right? So once we were clear on the ICP within the first 2 days of working together, we crafted the offer to match exactly the desires of their life, right? We positioned wholesaling real estate as the escape from whatever situation that they were currently in, right? And we made sure to actively use the 2 documented case studies that he got from the 2 people from his hometown. And together we created the pillars that caused him to grow so much so quickly on short form, right? So he went from 2K all the way to now 12.3 in like the first 2 months of working together. And then also what we did was we monetized the followers he had already had but wasn't able to convert on. And the way we did that was basically through story sequences. For the people that were already following him, we kind of hyped up the program before we even launched it. And then the next thing I could say that helped a lot throughout the entire process was him knowing exactly what to post on YouTube with scripted YouTube videos as well as made out Miro boards. That way he can consistently post on YouTube without having to guess what the next thing is for his YouTube channel, right? The next thing I could say that helped a lot with this offer, overall growing it, was tracking absolutely everything. So we tracked every single metric. We were tracking whether people came from Instagram that day, TikTok that day, or YouTube, and it was all organic, right? So this offer was completely organic. We grew him from 0 to 20K a month in the first month, completely organic. And we're also tracking completion rates. This is from a different offer, but yeah, we're tracking completion rates. We're tracking how many people are actually viewing. So we got 1,200 views on the landing page in the first month, and that converted to about 20K cash collected. And then we were also viewing engagement rate, seeing what we could change in the VSL, and now we have a new VSL in place that's going to do much better, right? Because we figured out what was wrong with the first VSL. I mean, 31% engagement rate is pretty good, but it can always be better, right? So the next thing that is very, very, very important is having a dialed-in sales team. I cannot stress this enough. Having a dialed-in sales team is one of the most important things when it comes to any info offer. As you can see, we had 136 leads created, 183 were contacted, and we had 665 outbound calls, all from one singular setter. And having a good setter is very, very important. I can't stress this enough. So obviously you could see he was dialing these people over and over again, and he was going through the old leads in the CRM as well, right? So if you're not tracking everything in your sales dashboard, if you're not tracking absolutely everything, you are so cooked. I don't think you'll understand. Having everything over here tracked is one of the most important things when it comes to growing any info offer, right? And then the next thing that helped us with the show rate was the pre-call process, right? So the pre-call process should be built around the ICP's potential questions, as well as sales call data that you collect from your closer. And it's very important that the leads come in beforehand watching these videos to actually nurture them, as well as answer any questions that could be a potential objection on sales call, right? So for example, we had them watch the first video, which kind of just is like going over what this actually is, what the opportunity is, and showing up to their call. Then we have them accept the calendar invitation. That's very, very important as well. And then going over any questions that they could possibly have. So like, what is wholesale real estate? Because we were targeting somewhat beginners as well. We had that as a FAQ, which is very, very important that they understand what they're getting into in the first place, right? Then the next thing is having a pre-call group chat. This is very important. So we had the setter make a pre-call group chat with the closer as well as himself, and then sometimes if the lead is like very, very cold, we'll also add in the offer owner, right? Just because that increases show rates more than you think it would. And the closer introduces themselves, the setter kind of just gets them familiar and makes sure that they're responsive inside the group chat. Because if they're not responding in the group chat, I can almost guarantee you they are not showing up to the call. Like the chance of someone not responding in the group chat and then showing up to the call is basically zero. So you need to make sure that they're responding in the group chat and they're actually hyped to get on the call. And the best way to do that is with a good setting process. You need to make sure you're also reviewing your setter calls. Like if you don't have a sales manager, your growth operator should be reviewing all of the setter calls, making sure that the setter is actually setting them in a correct way. That way you can prevent any no-shows from happening. That's very, very important. No-shows can actually kill your entire business, and it depends a lot on the setter. So another thing that I have my setters and closers do inside the group chat is, based on the situation, we can pre-handle them or educate them based on their situation with YouTube videos that basically we've created. So for example, I'm too young, I have no experience, I'm just a kid, whatever. We have a case study of how a 19-year-old made 11K with wholesaling. What is wholesaling? How does it work? We have another full transactional process of wholesale real estate. It's a 6-minute video. You should easily be able to watch that and easily be able to nurture, right? And we have that for about a couple other situations. And I make sure that my setter finds out what their pain is, as well as what they're actually what their actual objections or questions could actually be, and then send in a video based off this. Because just the pre-call videos aren't going to nurture them as much as also sending in YouTube videos. These YouTube videos have dual implementation. So one thing, they help grow the YouTube channel as well as they help nurture the lead before they even get on the call. It's literally dual, and it's perfect, right? So if they're actually a qualified lead and they get on the call with the closer, this should genuinely be your result like 90% of the time, right? And the reason that is because you're tracking the buyer's journey from the first video they ever watched to closing on the call, right? What was their first point of contact, and what made them actually apply? What made them show up the call? What made them actually close on the call, right? All of this should be tracked. And the way that I personally track it is, once they're inside the program, you should immediately have them fill out an onboarding form that gathers the rest of the details for your own market research, right? So a lot of the questions that I like to ask is, what could I have done to make you buy earlier? Why exactly did you choose me as your mentor, etc., right? So this is the first thing that they get as soon as they join the Discord. But yeah, overall, these are the main things that I implemented inside this info business to take it from 0 all the way to 20K, and now we're about to do 30K this month, right? So overall, it was very, very good dialed in marketing systems, very, very good sales process, very good content creation, as well as back end systems. So all 4 of these things fed into each other into their own roles. So this is what it actually takes to grow and scale an info offer. And I know this client specifically is going to reach 100K per month, just because if I'm able to take him from 0 to 20 in the first month, 6 months from now, we should easily be past 100K a month. Other than that, thank you for watching the video. If you're interested in anything or if you have any questions, you can DM my Instagram. I'll leave it in the link in the description. If you learned anything from this YouTube video, please subscribe and like this shit so it can go to everyone, right? Have a good day, and I'll see y'all later on the next video.